Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Yes everyone, breathe now, breathe. It's true, Lewis Hamilton is going to Ferrari for 2025. Yes, I can't believe it either. The silly season has begun very early, but yes, it is actually happening. Anyway, let's go now to the driver list for 2024 and also their contracts as well, because we've got to see if we can sort of work out who is going to get that vacant seat at Mercedes. So Max Verstappen, his contract is ending in 2028, so there's no chance of Max moving to Mercedes. Sergio Perez has got a contract for 2024. After that, not quite sure. Pretty definite that he won't be getting that Mercedes seat though. Can't see that happening. He may have to take a trip to one of the lesser teams further back down the grid. I'm not quite sure if he wants to continue in Formula 1. But we will see what happens there. So Lulu is off for Ferrari. George Russell's still contracted right through until 2025. So who's going to get it? Well, the most likely candidate has to be at the moment Lando Norris, but the only problem with that is, of course, that the McLaren and the Mercedes have been on pretty equal terms last year, and in fact the Mercedes have been quite a lot better than McLaren in certain races, and in other races McLaren was certainly better than the Mercedes. So it's a little bit of a ponder for Lando Norris. Does he take a chance and carry on with McLaren in the hope that they're going to really push forward like they did start to look like they were doing last year? Or is he just going to say, sod it, I'm going to Mercedes and be done with it? Personally, I think he'll just say, sod it and go to Mercedes, yes, and nab that spare seat. Now, of course, we also know that Lewis Hamilton is partnering with Charles Leclerc. So we've got Carlos Sainz. Now, Carlos Sainz is well rumoured to be moving to Audi for 2026. So it looks like he may be going for a 1-year deal at Sauber for 2025, because of course he'll have to get another contract for 2026, because when Audi comes along, of course, all the names will have to change and all the paperwork will have to change, so he'll have to negotiate a new contract with Audi. So it looks like he could be going to Sauber for 1 year. So of course that means what happens to Guan Yu Zhou and Valtteri Bottas? Which one of those are going to get ousted if that is the case? Well, I have to say it looks pretty likely that it will probably be Guan Yu Zhou, because I know that Valtteri had a contract for quite a few years. Oh, we're just looking at it now actually. He's there till the end of this year, 2024, and so is Guan Yu Zhou, in fact. So yeah, it could all be up in the air. In fact, I mean, I would say that both of those could be going, but I think they'd want some consistency in 2025. So to have a partnership of Valtteri Bottas, don't forget, of course, ex-Mercedes driver, and to have Carlos Sainz in there as well, would be a pretty decent pairing for 2025 at Sauber, because, I mean, that year of 2025 is going to be a pretty much a renaissance year for Sauber. They're not really going to do much, and Carlos Sainz is going to have to sort of downgrade his aspirations and sort of just go into that team and put up with it for 1 year. This sort of reminds me of the Jenson Button situation, if you remember, when he went to Renault, or was forced to go to Renault because he really didn't want to, but he had to because he had no choice. So yeah, it sort of reminds me of that. So he may have to just go there and suck it up, Buttercup, for a whole year at Sauber before Audi take over, and then hopefully, you know, that team will come in really strong. But we have no idea. We have no idea how good Audi are going to be. They might end up being not very good at all. We haven't got a clue. But we're just going to wait and see. So that's pretty much my predictions for what's going to happen. Oscar Piastri at McLaren, as you can see, has got a contract right through until the end of 2026. So he's not going anywhere. Lando Norris's contract surprisingly says long term. I don't know. Yeah. Long term means that any point in the negotiations, it could be very short term. That's basically what long term means. So yeah, can't sort of take that with a pinch of salt. And I think if Lando got the opportunity, he'd be straight on that Mercedes bandwagon as fast as he could. Yes, but we will see. It could be a situation where Mercedes might have to spend some money and buy out Lando Norris's contract, which is not going to please Toto Wolff. But I quite expect Toto Wolff is not very happy right now anyway. I expect the Toto Wolff memes are all over the internet right now because I can't imagine he's happy to lose Lewis Hamilton. I mean, they have a solid relationship. It's obviously it's a working relationship, but it's very solid. So I think he's probably a little bit pissed right now that he's lost his sort of star driver. And what he might do is, as I say, spend some money to get another star driver to replace him, because Lewis is going to leave quite a big hole, because I do believe George Russell really isn't of Lewis Hamilton's calibre. I don't think he's really top flight calibre. He's a good driver, but he's not a great driver. So he needs someone in that team to fill that gap. So as I say, he may spend the cash and get Lando Norris in that team. Now, Fernando Alonso, some people are mooting Fernando Alonso for that Mercedes seat, but that's not going to happen. He's got a contract for 2024. After that, I'm not quite sure. I think Fernando may finally give up and say, yeah, I'm done. I've had enough. I don't know. Or he may extend the contract for a couple more years. I don't know. He may want to go into 2026 to see how these new engines on the cars and the new regulations work out and then call it a day. But, you know, he is getting seriously old now, so I'm not quite sure about Fernando Alonso. Of course, Lance Stroll, he's got a rolling contract with Aston Martin. That always makes me laugh. Rolling. So any time he could roll off the end of that hill and not have a contract, because, yeah, that's just great. So we've got Esteban Ocon at Alpine, he's got a contract for 2024, and Pierre Gasly as well. So this is very, very interesting, because there's a lot of look at all these drivers down the bottom here. Look at them all. They are all only contracted for 2024. So 2025 could be a complete lottery, absolute lottery of all these drivers. They could be changing and going anywhere, basically. It's just going to be absolute madness. I mean, just look at them all. 2024, and that's it. I mean, if we include Lance Stroll in there, that's over half the field. Their contracts run out. And we got Sergio Perez as well. Run out in 2024. So 2025 is going to be very interesting. The contract negotiations board are going to be absolutely inundated, I think, with requests from drivers for moving on to other teams. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, so let me know in the comments your predictions. Who do you think is going to grab that spare seat at Mercedes for 2025? Also, do you think this was a good move for Lewis Hamilton, or do you think it's a bad move? Personally, I would have preferred 33-year-old Lewis Hamilton to have joined Ferrari than 40-year-old Lewis Hamilton. That's just my opinion. I'm just hoping it doesn't end up as a Sebastian Vettel situation. I just hope that doesn't happen. Now, of course, there's Charles Leclerc, his teammate. I think they'll be a good match, to be honest, and a good fit at that team to have both of them there. If it was Carlos Sainz and Lewis, I think there could be problems. But as it's Charles Leclerc, I think that could be a pretty good match. But I'm just hoping, as I say, it doesn't end up in a Sebastian Vettel situation, which is what happened with him. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Whether this is a good move. And tell me how surprised you were that this happened, because it did seem to come out from nowhere. A lot of people criticised it and said this is just a smokescreen because of what happened with Andretti not 24 hours earlier. And I was one of those as well. I completely thought that as well. I thought this is... And to be fair, it could still be that. I mean, the information, they could have just thought, okay, let's try and get some of the heat off this Andretti and let's release this information now. So there's nothing to say that isn't what happened. But, you know, none the more for that. It is true. It is actually happening. But, yeah, I just find it very strange that this information would be announced now after the Andretti mess. It's just... The timing is just too perfect for me, too perfect. And it just looks like they're just trying to, you know, get the attention away from that and start on something else. I think possibly this information was ready to go, possibly about a week ago, and they were just trying to find the right day to do it. And they probably did know that the Andretti was going to cause quite a few problems, and so they thought, okay, let's hold this off for a little bit and see if pick the right day. And they did pick the right day, didn't they? Yes, exactly 24 hours after the Andretti mess. So there you go. But anyway, I'm just an old conspiracy theorist though. But let me know what you think and whether you think it's a good move. And where do you think some of the other drivers are going to be after 2024? Because as I say, there's going to be a lot of moves. Of course, we've got down the bottom Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg for Haas. Of course, you know, team principal Gunther Steiner. Gunther Steiner has now left. So anything could happen. You know, that new team principal, he could say, oh, I don't like these drivers. I'm going to get new ones after 2024. So we could have new drivers for Haas. And who could that be? That could be some of these drivers up here that are, you know, only got contracts. Fernando Alonso, very unlikely, but, you know, if he wants to keep changing teams, he might go there. As I say, very unlikely though. I think you'll see his contract at Aston Martin, whichever how many more years that's going to be. But I mean, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, they might stay where they are. But of course, you know, Alpine has got a lot of financial problems. Of course, 25% owned by Ryan Reynolds and his business partner, whose name escapes me. You know, they want to see some return on the investment, and Alpine, they've been doing okay, but not too great. So it's all up in the air. And we've got Williams, Logan Sargent, he's been confirmed, of course, for 2024, and Alex Albon is in Williams for 2024 as well. After that, don't know. Then, of course, we've got Daniel Ricciardo, the Honey Badger. How long can they keep him at Visa Cash at Red Bull? Oh, God. Visa Cash at Red Bull. I mean, how long? And Yuki Tsunoda as well. What's going to happen to poor Yuki Tsunoda? Unfortunately, I think after this year, I think Yuki's going to be gone. I'm hoping if that happens that Daniel goes as well, because he doesn't really deserve, I don't think, to be in that car in the first place. But I think if they're going to go, they should get rid of both of them. So, yeah, it's going to be a very exciting time in 2025. As much as the driver market's going to be, I don't think the racing's going to be very exciting. But you don't know, you see, with all these driver changes, different cars, could end up with a few surprises for 2025. Unfortunately, 2024 looks like it's going to be pretty much the same as usual. And I can't predict very much excitement at all. But for 2025, things are looking very exciting indeed. Anyway, I've been rambling way too long. Let me know in the comments what you think about this situation with Lewis Hamilton. Did you believe it when you first heard it? Did you think, no, come on, you cannot be serious? Apparently, it's been mooted on the cards for quite a few years that Lewis Hamilton would go to Ferrari. This does sort of remind me a little bit of the Nigel Mansell situation when he went to Ferrari. Only Nigel Mansell, unfortunately, was pretty much prime Nigel Mansell when he went to Ferrari. I think it was that 1988. I think it was. Whereas Lewis Hamilton, as I say, he's going to be 40-year-old Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari. So, I don't know. It could turn out to be a complete disaster for Lewis, or it could turn out to be possibly the best move he's ever done, which was the same as when he went to Mercedes, because a lot of people doubted that move, and yet it turned out to be absolutely perfect for him. This move, I mean, he's very savvy in these sort of things. He's no way stupid, is Lewis. So, you know, he's looked at all the options for later on, and he's decided that Ferrari is the best place to go, and so that's where he is going to go. So it could be a great move, it could be a bad move. Who knows? Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. You have been awesome as always. Thanks for the support. You're all awesome people, and I will catch you in the next video.